Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank all of you for being here today. Mr. Feeney, I want to start with you, and I just want to make sure I understand exactly your title and your role. Your title is Deputy Director for Correspondence, Records, and Staffing Division. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And you have the responsibility of conducting and coordinating FOIA searches in response to FOIA requests?
That is correct for the Office of the Secretary, yes, sir.
For the Office for the Secretary of State. Mr. Feeney, according to a deposition that was given by Karen Lang by Judicial Watch, your office was under the belief that then Secretary Hillary Clinton didn't use email for work-related purposes, and your office was not aware of this email use until, according to sworn testimony, 2013. Is that pretty much right?
Now the specific dates, but that's what my director said. That is correct, sir.
Okay. During Secretary Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State, did you know she was using a private email for work-related purposes?
No, sir.
You did not know that?
No, sir.
According to the State Department IG report, there were dozens of people who knew about it. They knew that Secretary Clinton was using a personal email account, and they knew that she was using a personal server for work, but you didn't know. And according to your title, it would appear to me that you should have known. Why do you think they didn't tell you?
Sir, I couldn't give you the information or the reason why, sir. I just don't have that information.
Did you ever ask if Secretary Clinton was using a personal email?
No, sir. The question I asked was when she came on board, and even after we saw the picture on the news, was, does she have a state.gov account? And when they told me she did not, that's where it stopped, sir.
So what does it mean that she doesn't have a state.gov account?
When she doesn't have a state.gov account, basically, you're just looking at as far as the accounts that are being able to do emails that are assigned to the actual SCSRM, which is our Information Resource Management shop, who creates those accounts.
Did that concern you, the fact that she didn't have one?
No, sir, and the reason why is because when I asked the question, and I said, and I was told that not only did she did not have a state.gov account, but our prior secretary did not have a state.gov account, as well as the previous one as well. So you're looking at Secretary Rice, Secretary Powell, and Secretary Clinton did not have a state.gov account. So when they told me that, that's when I said, okay, I understand.
Okay. It's been established that obviously Secretary Clinton was using a personal email account to conduct official business. Did you know this?
No, sir.
Did anyone else know it?
I can answer that question, sir. I don't know what I know, and I didn't know.
The fact that she was using that personal email, should you have known it? Should you have been made aware by your superiors?
Can I refer that to our director?
No.
Okay.
I want to know from you. I want to know, in your position that you accepted, did you feel like you should have known?
If she's using a state.gov account or a Gmail account?
A Gmail account.
Okay. I would say what we do today, and it's standard, is basically, as we briefed the folks, as we do today, based on the Federal Records Act of 2014, if you're using your personal device, you're required by law to make sure that it's sent to your state.gov account. And that's what we would share.
So you do believe that you should have known, and you're the Deputy Director for Correspondence, Records, and Staffing Division. When FOIA requests come in, it's your responsibility. You should have known that, correct?
What I'm supposed to be knowing is making sure that I've captured all the records for the Secretary. So again, when I conduct our briefing with the agency records officer, we're making sure that we get all the records. And so that's where we stand.
So in order to fulfill your responsibilities, you would have had to have known. Isn't that correct? No, Ms. Lang, I'm asking Mr. Finney. Isn't that the way you understand your responsibility?
To fulfill my responsibilities, I'm responsible for making sure that I get the records for the Office of the Secretary. And so that's one of the things when we brief, we're making sure that we get those records, sir.
Okay. Mr. Finney, it's obvious to me that you take great pride in your work, and I think you're an exemplary public servant. But it's got to concern you that you weren't given all the tools to perform your responsibility. It would me if I weren't given all of my tools that I needed to perform my responsibility. Does that concern you at all? Do you feel like they were hiding something from you?
Sir, all I can say is this, is that what my job is to make sure I collect all those records. And so when I was going
But
through
in
the
order to do that
process,
job, you've got to know, and you didn't know because they didn't tell you, even though they did know.
again, I can't say what other folks know. I can only tell you what I knew, and I didn't know that. So again, it's me going forth doing my job.
Okay, one last question, okay, Mr. Feeney? Do you think that they purposefully didn't tell you?
No, sir.
You don't?
No, sir.
You know, it's just bothersome to me that you and this responsibility as being Deputy Director for Correspondence Records and Staffing and having the responsibility of filling FOIA requests, yet you didn't know, how can you perform your responsibility? And yet others did know, and they knew that that was your responsibility.
Again, sir, I couldn't tell you what they knew. I only can tell you what I knew. And then when they knew about that, I couldn't speculate.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I've run out of time. Thank you again, Mr. Kinney, for your service.
Thank the gentleman. Now recognize